Recruitment advertising isn't working for a lot of companies in the tech sector. Why is that when there are apparently so many great people actively on the job market? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about how we know it's not working and why it's not working. And a key factor in that is that the right people are not seeing the right adverts. Let me explain. So, how do we know? Well, a very large proportion of organisations that come to us and use us for the first time are companies that have tried to fill business critical roles through recruitment advertising and failed. And they've usually failed because they've not seen the right ad response to their advert. And so they need a source of candidates that are going to meet their expectations, fit their criteria, and that's why they come to us. So why aren't their adverts producing the sort of results they want? Well, let's look at it from the job seeker's perspective first, and then we'll look at it from the client's perspective, or rather the hiring company's perspective. So imagine you're on the job market. You have the ability to take advantage of all these alert systems that are available to you on the job boards, where they'll feed you a regular email full of adverts that apparently you're well suited to for these roles. But actually, if you've ever set one of these alerts, you'll see that the matching capability is fundamentally flawed. In fact, I've got a number of alerts set up to keep an eye on the wider hiring market, and the number of roles that I get that are just totally relevant for what we do is remarkable. And the problem is that when you're a job seeker, if you're constantly looking for the right roles, but you're getting fed a diet of irrelevance, it becomes quite a disheartening experience. And so there's that chance that the right role that you could be a great candidate for gets lost in all that noise and you don't end up applying for it. And so as an employer, your adverts are not getting seen by enough of the right people. And that is a fundamental problem with ad responses. Now, the other side of that coin is if you're constantly getting fed a diet of roles and you're desperately seeking a new position, it's very, very easy now just to apply for anything. 4 or 5 clicks and you can have a CV in somebody's inbox in no time. And why wouldn't you? You're desperate for a new job. You know, it's nothing ventured, nothing gained mentality, and people apply for all sorts of things. But that has consequences at the other end of the pipeline. So if you're then the person who's reviewing that ad response on behalf of the hiring company, maybe the HR person, the internal recruiter, the hiring manager, or somebody else who's given that task, you've then got an enormous ad response of largely people who aspire to that role rather than actually qualified and have the experience that you're looking for. And so it then becomes very, very easy to miss the odd gem in there, particularly if you're not an experienced recruiter and you don't know what you're looking for. So you could have all that response and you could really sort through it over quite a period of time and miss somebody pretty good. And there are 2 points I'd like to make and 2 real life examples that I can give you to support that claim. The first one is this. We advertised a CMO role for a procurement tech vendor in the States last year. We got 400 responses exactly. I interviewed one person from that 400. The other 399 were all irrelevant. And even that one person didn't make the shortlist. The shortlist was made up entirely of people that we'd sourced through our network and headhunting activities. So that was a 400 person ad response that we had to go through to check everyone was right, or in this case, not right. And then the other end of that spectrum is, imagine this. Imagine you've got that 400 person ad response, and the person doing the first screen is not particularly knowledgeable on this particular subject, and they miss a gem or 2 of a candidate. And so you don't end up interviewing those people and you don't hire them. And the reason why I know this happens is on 3 separate occasions last year, organisations that had advertised roles received an applicant who they didn't interview. Then when they came to us, we said, what about this person? They're perfectly suited to this. And that person ended up getting the job. And then during the process, someone flagged to us, 2 occasions it was the candidate, 1 occasion it was the client, said to us, he actually applied for that job and we missed the person in the ad response. So they could have saved time and money by getting it right, but because they didn't have the right person doing the first screen and because there were so many ad responses that those great candidates got lost, the end result was they had to come to us and we ended up solving that problem for them. But ultimately, these are some of the flaws that exist in the advertising market these days. So if you found you struggle with those problems or you want to avoid them, then of course the answer is to come and talk to us. So I hope you found that useful, and I'd love to hear from you. You can get me via everyday.com on the Contact Us page, or you can get me via LinkedIn, of course. Thanks. Appreciate your time.